Good evening, fellow Blues. Welcome back to another video. It's Steven here on a wonderful Saturday afternoon. It's glorious blue skies above Manchester. There's loads of transfer news to talk about today, particularly Mr. Julian Alvarez. He's expecting bids from Atletico Madrid, maybe PSG, and even more surprising, potentially Arsenal. I also want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We did it. We finally got to 70,000. The algorithm likes my channel again. Cheers for all the support. I'm at 70,000 subscribers, and it really does mean the world to me. I've been hanging around that for an awful long time. We've reached that. We went past it. You're all beautiful. Should I do an old school Q&A or something like that? I'll do a live video maybe at some point, maybe tomorrow evening. Old school Q&A, just to have a chat. I don't know. But either way, massively appreciated. Thank you so much for all the support. Road to 80k starts right now, I guess. Give the video a like if you're enjoying this daily content. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel. I will be live later on for the watch along from 10:15 p.m. So just, how many hours is that? 4.5 hours from now, I'll be live again for the watch along tonight. Who knows what will happen between then and now. And thank you to the people in the chat: Marcello, Jay, Russell, Tom, Brian, Doofus, Dave, Richard, and Bestie. You're all absolute legends. So let's talk about today's news anyway. This is your daily news show anyway. Atletico Madrid allegedly have set a bid in for Alvarez. I'll go over to Jack Gorn. Now, Jack knows his deal. Jack has said Atletico Madrid have started negotiations with Man City to sign Julian Alvarez. Unconfirmed figures, but personally would presume he's valued at 70 million plus. Atletico were early in the summer with no resolution. PSG also want the striker. So there's a lot going on here. I'll go back to City Extra, who got a few more tweets going around. There's a big journalist. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but someone else, Sam Lee and also Guillermo Rai have also reported that discussions with Atletico Madrid over Julian Alvarez are centered around 55 million plus bonuses, bringing the total to over 70 million euros. City are asking for 70 million pounds plus 20 million add-ons, which is around 90 million quid. Atletico pessimistic about reaching an agreement under these conditions. 70 million euros is how much? What's 70 euros in pounds is 59, so the total there would be around 60 million quid, which is not miles off. It's a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if the City could get Atletico to package around 65 million euros plus 20. They'd probably, I wouldn't be surprised if City accept a package pushing 65 to 70 million pounds, which is less than they're asking for there, but I wouldn't be surprised of a compromise. It is a lot off currently, Russell, but City start high, and you know what Cheeky's like and City are like? They usually accept a compromise if they want to. I don't know how far they'll go, but this feels very legitimate right now. They are probably quite far, but the 20 to 30 million apart, do not be surprised if City come down 15 and they go up 15. People always start far apart and they reach an agreement. I remember at one point everyone was saying Vardiol would have to be 100 million or nothing. And in the end, it was worked out about 75 million quid, wasn't it? Or 75, something like that. So it was... It was, in the end, it worked fine. We do have a lot of leverage, so Russell's right to say that in the chat. Either way, I feel that this is serious, there's the rumours that Arsenal consider getting involved is interesting. Simon Mullock came out with that. Where is it there? Simon Mullock is also one of the guys who's very well connected, has said that Arsenal monitoring it, but City would probably ask for a deal of over 80 million, which was too rich for them. Now, I'm sorry, look, if Arsenal are serious, by the way, City don't need Alvarez as much as Arsenal do. Alvarez would be a massive improvement on Kai Havertz and Nketiah and all that kind of stuff. It'd be a huge deal for them. I would genuinely add a Premier League tax. If Arsenal come in, I would want a package of around 90 million quid. Absolutely. 100%. Because you cannot let him go to a rival like that. It's too much. Hugely. There has to be a Premier League tax. There's no two ways about it. I understand the deal being lesser if he goes to PSG or Atletico. That's not really going to affect us. But if he went to Arsenal, we absolutely have to charge him an extra 10, 15 million quid because that is just the way it should be. I don't think Arsenal will happen. I don't think it will do. I think City will make it difficult for them, and rightfully so. It's just too much, man. But it does feel like this is heating up. He's a very, very, very wanted man. This is the journalist I was on about earlier, by the way. This Gaston fella, the guy from Beauty and the Beast. Or, if you're familiar with Ben and Holly's Magic Kingdom, a small ladybug. You choose. It's either the guy from Beauty and the Beast, or it's a small ladybug, or a Spanish journalist. I'm going for a small ladybug from Ben and Holly's Kingdom. That's what I'm going for. Gaston has said that Atletico are expected to present a formal offer of around 60 million euros. PSG apparently made a superior formal offer to City. Alvarez's future remains unresolved, but an exit from City is increasingly feasible, and it's very likely will change clubs this summer. Atletico and PSG are the two clubs in the race, and there's nothing from Chelsea. Look, he absolutely is worth 80 million, bestie. Like, the thing is, someone said he's not worth it. He billion% is. Alvarez is guaranteed to get you 25 to 30 goals. I guarantee you he is. He absolutely will do. If he starts 50 games a season, he's pushing 30 million goals. That is impressive. I know some of you don't rate him as highly as others, but look, he scored 19 goals last season for City, and he was playing a lot off the bench, and he was playing a lot as an attacking midfielder. He scored 17 the season before. If he plays as a striker, taking the penalties as well, which we know he can do, plays as a striker, he easily scores another 5 to 10 goals. And I'm sorry, but a striker who can get you pushing 30 goals a season is absolutely in this market worth £80 million. And you can also add the fact that he's an absolutely born and proven winner. His age is young. He works really hard. There's not many strikers around with the instinctive quality that he's got. Look, he's not Erling Haaland. No one is, though. But you got to bear in mind, 40, 50 goal strikers are insanely rare. Those ones cost 150 million. We got Haaland for 50 because we were lucky because he had a release clause. But yeah, I honestly really feel he's an 80 million pound player. Billion%. You would take that. Look, if City didn't have Haaland and someone said he could sign a striker, it will get you 30 goals a season for 80 million, they would leap at it. And I tell you what, if you could guarantee Arsenal that they'd get 30 goals out of him for 90 million, they would leap at it too. So you got to be careful, when you're selling a player of this quality. Some people forget that even last season he scored 19 goals, and he was playing as a midfielder for most of it, where he was not, nowhere near as comfortable. He's a goal scorer, Alvarez. He absolutely is, and he will always be a goal scorer. 90 goals in 225 games in his career, which is, and if they're getting, 35 million for Eddie Nketiah, look, yeah, I'd put another 60 million. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because Jamie just asked me in the chat, how sad are you if he leaves out of 10? It's really weird. Alvarez would probably be the best player that's left that I wouldn't care about. It's really strange. Like, I think it's because we have Haaland, and I'm totally comfortable with, a false 9 as an option, but I wouldn't be that bothered. I'd be 5 out of 10. I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be I wouldn't really massively care. I know it sounds strange. I understand it would leave a little bit of a problem for us. He's underappreciated, he is, but it's also, I think it's because we have Haaland, and I think we'll be fine either way. We will miss him. We absolutely will miss him. There's no denying that Alvarez is a quality player who scores lots of goals. And yeah, as Avi Bakr just raised in the chat, if we get an injury, how do we replace Haaland? And Haaland is not a guy who's not unfamiliar with injuries, is he? He absolutely has potential to get injured because of the size of him. He gets kicked a lot. Look, it could happen. I think we would feel it then in that instance. I would feel more confident if I felt like Man City would reinvest that money, but I don't think they would do. I think City would genuinely just crack on and use the squad that we've got, and maybe even sign a midfielder, which is not what we need. I think we'd go false 9. I think Oscar Bob would get a chance. I think Filden there you go. That's a new combine name for Filden. Phil Foden would give it a go. Maybe even we see McAtee play there. Look, it's not going to happen, but I don't know. We would see a change, and I think we'd probably struggle for a long term if we had to play false 9. But we will see. And there's no way he plays Haaland and Alvarez up front together, no Edward, because he doesn't play. He's not going to play 2 strikers because 4-4-2 is dead anyway. 2 strikers is pretty much dead. Filden season, yeah, Filden season. There we go. Hashtag Filden season. Yeah, but no, I just don't see it happening. I don't see him play 2 strikers because it means one less midfielder, and Guardiola wants midfielders from the players that we've got. I can see. No, best with Foden and De Bruyne are available, no chance. And we've got wingers now as well, haven't we? Proper wingers. We've got a lot of wingers. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes down. The more this goes on, you get a sense every now and then you read the room basically, of the mood around a player. And I feel this is heading one way. It feels it's heading towards an exit for Alvarez. I'd be amazed at this point if he doesn't go, because it feels like we've got... I'm sort of just feeling the energy towards this transfer, like it's building up towards it. You've got all these clubs coming in. You've got rumours of multiple clubs, and multiple clubs don't come in, by the way, until you've got genuine interest. So, yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but I do think he's going to go. I actually agree he's pushing worth 100 million. I agree, but City won't get that. City are not bothered about, potentially, doing a deal, which isn't the most record deal in the world. If, we get good money and we move him on. We might win the net spend trophy, by the way. Which would be interesting. I don't know who's going to pay it. 80 million euros seems really fair, by the way. Like, it's more than fair. That's what, 68 million quid, 69 million quid? That's more than fair for Alvarez. If anything, it's a bargain. I don't think we'll go near Eze either. I don't think that's likely. I saw Sam Lee talk about that. I know told me that In the Know guy would like him and said City contacted him for, which I don't doubt that's true for a second. I think it's probably true. But I don't think we'll go for Eze. I just don't know. If Olmo wasn't going to Barcelona, he'd be a perfect little replacement. Is Olmo to Barca? How close is that? Do not be surprised if City try and hijack that transfer, Or, I would love to see the money used for Bruno G, but, Makato Alvarez, Makati could be the false nine. He could be. I think he's got a long way to go to be a false nine for Manchester City, but I like him. Guys, by the way, 200 people watching. Could we please get the likes up? I would really appreciate that if you don't mind. It does help people find this channel and the videos. So if you get the likes up, that'd be great. And please consider subscribing to the channel as well at the same time. Colin reckons PSG put the best offer in eventually. Yeah, well, they've got the money. 2 bids currently rejected by Leipzig. Look, do not be surprised if City sell Alvarez inside the next week or two and Olmo hasn't quite agreed a deal and City going for Olmo. I would not be surprised whatsoever. Olmo would absolutely be a false nine. He could play that role because he's smart enough and he's the kind of guy he would operate. Do you know when we played that fluid false nine a couple of years back where Foden and Bernardo and Mahrez and De Bruyne, they were all rotating around? I've got a feeling, Olmo would have suited that perfectly. And then we've got Bernardo, and then we've got, Foden. If you had Olmo too, you could do it. Oscar Bob absolutely could do. He's more than good enough. Oscar Bob's footwork in the middle is so smart, It really is. So that's what I think possibly we could do. And I think Guardiola said, we're not going to sign anyone unless someone leaves. So I wouldn't be surprised if City activate a few levers of their own, and go for a striker if Atletico does leave. I don't know, mate. I think City, though, what I would say is that, look, you could turn around and say Alvarez is a £100 million player. And you're absolutely right. But is anyone going to pay that? No. No one is going to pay £100 million for Alvarez. And do City want a player that doesn't want to be here? No. So City, basically, they can set really high prices knowing that no one's going to pay it, or they can tell a player that they can go for a decent amount and get players who want to be here. City, like, we talk an awful... No, PSG won't pay 100 million. I just don't agree. I just don't think they will do in this market. We can all talk a lot about... Because PSG has spent a lot of money on some players and it's not worked for them at all. I just do not think they will do. We can all talk about holding out and all this kind of stuff, and we can all moan about our valuation. But you've got to bear in mind, City won 4 leagues in a row. They've had the most unprecedented successful period in English football history. Like, no one's had a spell in English football history like Guardiola has at Manchester City. The level of success has been ridiculous. So as much as we can sit here and moan about it, they're obviously doing something right. Their approach to letting players go if they want to go is thought out for a reason. It's not just because they're soft arses. It's because they'd rather get good money in than keep a player who doesn't want to be here. Because a player who doesn't want to be here will drop off mentally a little bit. And that's the balance that Manchester City make. They're not stupid. They understand when you've got to make a compromise. And they've always said that a player can go if a decent value comes in. I reckon City will push it up to around £70 million So that's what 80s, early 80s in the Euros, 83 million, something like that Euros. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I agree with Sam here. Yeah, something like that. And by the way, I wouldn't want Tony at all. Can we just not sign players who are potential criminals? You know, if he's betting thing going on. Let's not get anyone like Tony, by the way, would not be a good bench player. Ivan Toney does not have the attitude to sit on the bench behind Erling Haaland. No chance. He's a bit of a knobber, Tony, isn't he? You know, like good player, but, you know, no. I'd rather Oscar Bob as a false nine, personally. Quality player, Tony, but no. And he wouldn't be 30, 40 million either. They would immediately ask for the exact same money that we just got from Alvarez. It makes no sense to me. Evan Ferguson, nah. He's dropped off massively. Once again, I would genuinely rather have Oscar Bob. I'd rather have Oscar Bob as a false nine because Evan Ferguson's stock has fallen big time. Who knows, man? Maybe we'll see. Yeah, I think it'll be false nine City, and I think we'll probably see. We could go for almost someone like that. Yeah, the match tonight it's at 10:30 UK time. Kudus would be like 80 million quid. You got to bear in mind, City, like anyone City try and buy with the money that we've got and given how much you barely spent, it's going to be absurd. And Kudus is not a striker either, by the way. He's definitely more of a wide player, I would argue, attacking midfielder. He could play a little bit, but he's not a striker. I would want a striker, but yeah, I would want. But I'd understand if he wanted to invest the money elsewhere and sort of go over back up. It could have cost us, but Guardiola, you know. Exactly, Abubakar. I think this is FIFA, man. It's going to be really hard to get some of these players. Yeah, Elmo would be my choice probably as well. You can play false nine, absolutely. Elmo, Bob, Bernardo, Phil Foden, they've all done roles in that, you know. They all could probably do it to a certain extent. But either way, you know, I think Alvarez, this is not going to be the longest video just because of the time, because I'm going live again in literally just over 4 hours. I suspect this is going to happen to an extent. Alvarez, I'm reasonably relaxed about it. Like, look, Alvarez is a really good player, but we've seen the levels. Like, I don't think Alvarez is ever going to take the shirt from Erling Haaland. Essentially, he's a backup, and we're going to make a massive profit on him of like 50 plus million. He leaves with good intentions. I don't know what City would do. We do need to replace him some way, but I don't know if we'll manage it. But look, the only concern is how we replace him. But in terms of Alvarez leaving, am I overly bothered? Not really. Alvarez isn't really an emotional player. I can't explain it. It's like he's just there. It's like I wasn't that bothered when Gabriel Jesus left. It's a similar level, really, of... Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll see. We will see. Guys, I'm going to leave this video here. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thank you so much for all joining in. If you want to join me for the watch along tonight, I'll be live at 10:15 p.m. The last watch along was fucking hilarious. You guys were absolutely on fire. It was really good fun in the chat. I'll have a couple of drinks. I'll get some rum and coke in, and we'll enjoy the watch along together. Chelsea tonight. Fingers crossed it'll be good fun. Watch another Nico O'Reilly masterclass. Maybe Oscar Bob will skin Chelsea. Maybe we'll lose 5-0. Who knows? Maybe Edison will let in more. Simple shots. Who knows, man? Who knows? By the way, we can't get Dobvik because we can't do any deals with Girona because of the Champions League thing, so no chance of that. And anyway, I don't think we're not going to sign a striker to play backup. Unless the only way we're going to get is a prospect. And maybe they are waiting for Echeverri. What they'll do is we'll probably see how Echeverri gets on for the next few months. And maybe he comes in January after River Plate, and maybe he comes an option there. We'll see. We'll see. Guys, I'll see you later. See you in just over 4 hours for the watch long. For now, though, let me know what you think about Alvarez in the comments below. Subscribe in a bit. Bye-bye.